What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. So the Great Conjunction is tomorrow, and with two opposite, energies, Jupiter and Saturn. They're two opposite energies, and I decided to go into that in a fasted state, body cleaned out, meditation with the Most High. And so I put up Isaiah 58 here for you guys. Um, if you start from verse 6, the whole chapter is really good. But if you start from verse 6 and on, it discusses the type of fast that is acceptable to the Most High. All right. So I just wanted to put that up for you. And also, there's so many good benefits to fasting, and this is something that we should be doing a little bit more, now than ever, right? So check this out, you guys, when you get a chance. Also, I'm going to recommend some teas that you can take if you're starting to feel like, a little sick, if you feel like your body's fighting off something. A good tea is elderberry. Get that right. Hands on. As soon as you feel something, you drink some elderberry tea. It takes care of it right away. So elderberry is a good tea. Soursop, licorice, and there's some others. So definitely get some elderberry tea, guys. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So our time on this platform is quickly coming to an end. I think I mentioned that in the last video. It's quickly coming to an end, guys. We won't be on this platform for much longer. So each and every time I come on, we just don't know if it's going to be our last. So I wanted to recap with our story of the stars, our journey together, because our journey is coming to an end, right? So we started off with this one. Are the stars telling us a story about the end? We learned that the Most High had a story in the stars, the salvation, about his people, about Yeshaya, prophecy. It's all in the stars. We talked about cosmic disturbances, the poles changing, the radiation that was coming in, how it would affect people, certain people who, in duality, it'd be good for some and bad for others. We talked about the end of one government and rise of another with Taurus and the different constellations. We talked about gamma power in 144. That was with the ruach and the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, right? And the importance of thinking positive and the light spectrums and the function of the ruach, right? Then we talked about the hunting season, right? Which we're in that right now. All of this was outlined in the constellations for us. The hunting season. We even touched base on a little bit of sacred geometry with the winter solstice. Looks like a winter triangle, and even the summer solstice. Right? We talked about all those things. We talked about X marks the spot. Solar eclipse 2024. We talked about the mask theater that was going out before us. Worship to Dionysus. We talked about emergency planning, just having some things, having a plan in place. This is why we're going over the stars and all these things, so we can prepare, right? Then we talked about the sealing time, all the gamma that was coming into, our Earth, the gamma radiation, and how each time it comes in, it's doing something to us. It's changing us. Not all at one time, and everyone is not going to get this, guys. Everyone is not going to get this outpouring of the Holy Spirit. And I see a lot of videos, and people are, people who don't even believe in Yeshaya are saying they're getting hit with this gamut. No, this is not for everyone. It's not even for everyone that is inside of the so-called truth. We talked about dreams, their spiritual intel, the 13th moon, Leviathan, Cetus, right? How Cetus had that band around the northern and southern tribes. Pisces, the fish. We talked about election day, how Babylon, the first Babylon, was taken down. The structure, the governmental structure. And that's exactly what we see right now. We talked about the countdown, the cosmic clock, how the sun goes around in retrograde, which a lot of people don't really talk about. Starting to see that a lot now. And the ages. We talked about the ley lines, the nervous system of our earth, how we're all connected. And it's interesting because even when you talk about the ley lines, Abraham was led to Mount Moriah to sacrifice his son. Mount Moriah, if you go and look now, that's where the Dome of the Rock is, which is actually on a ley line. Then we talked about the upcoming lunar eclipse and the United, Gemini, the United, twin flames, how it was going to be a distinction between who is who now. From here on out, there will be a distinction. Then we talked about the chariots. With this video, I had people who left comments saying that the Most High wouldn't have his chariots out here waiting right now. They just wouldn't be waiting. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not even debating with people anymore. We'll see. That's the only thing I'm going to say to people now is we'll see. We'll see. The Most High is a fair and just God. There's no way that he will have us unprotected and without. And we're just going to see how it's going to play out. Then we talked about Neanderthal genes, COVID-19. We talked about vaccination, cancer, DNA, immortality, the Archangel, 69, the Y chromosome. You guys, we've covered a lot. We talked about Saturn, Jupiter, Sagittarius, the solar eclipse that just happened in Sagittarius. We talked about Saturn and Jupiter. We talked about music, DNA, frequency, the ley lines. And you guys, I don't know, like, this was a big one because here you saw for the Germanids that came out on the 14th, which was the highest day, highest peak, how it had DNA in it. That was a big one, guys. That was a big one. Then we talked a little bit about Orion. And now, today, we're going to focus a little bit on Capricorn and Ophiuchus. Okay? So, here you have, and of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. Let's take a look here. This is today, and this is Ophiuchus, and I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. Here you have Ophiuchus right here, right? And he's wrestling with the snake, the serpent, right? And here you have, let's bring this in, and under his feet there is Scorpius. And over here to the side, you have Sagittarius. And then you have this crown right here, right? So here you have Ophiuchus wrestling with the snake. Here you have in front of Sagittarius, you have the Corona Australis. We talked about this a little bit before. This is known as the Southern Crown. I can't even make this stuff up, guys. This is the Southern Crown. And then over here, you see this is another crown. This is Corona Borealis. We talked about this one before. This is the Northern Crown. But when I want to show you something here, in this crown, you see this little one, this is a constellation. You see it's standing out more than the others. Let's take a look at that. That is called Aphasia. You see the color of it right here, right? This is in that crown. This is a Aphasia. It's actually Alpha, but the legal name is Ophiuchus, and I'm probably saying it wrong. It's Ophiuchus or either Ophiuchus. And it's the brightest star in that constellation. So it's also, the name for it is Gemma, Gemma. And Gemma, when you look at it from a biological standpoint, it's a small cellular body or bud that is separate to form a new organism. But this one is also known as the jewel. It's the crown. It's the jewel of the crown, right? Also in Ophiuchus, you have Pi Coronae, you have Beta Corona, you have Delta, Epsilon, Iota, and Rho. And Rho is actually kind of similar to the sun. So let's go back. I thought this was very interesting about this crown. This is in the northern crown. There's a specific jewel in this crown that stands out. Comment down below and tell me what you guys think about this. I can only lead you to the water, but you have to dip. So here you see Sagittarius. This is like a story, guys. You have Sagittarius. It's going after the Scorpius, right? Scorpius right here. Because Scorpius is attacking Ophiuchus' heel. And Ophiuchus is stomping it and actually wrestling with the snake here at the same time. And if you look at the direction of a snake, it's going after its crown. It's going after the crown. It's wrestling for the crown, your crown of light, your crown of life. And this is in the constellations right now. This is where the sun is right here. And we even spoke a little bit about the Scorpius and how it actually used to be a eagle, but it's been changed to a scorpion, right? And we know that it's the serpent seed, right? And I guess the question is, why did they change that? Right? And we're going to take a look at that today. So let's take a look at Capricorn. All right? That's the rulership, and it's up here. And you can see that Jupiter is right here, and Saturn is here also. If I was to, let's see, sometimes you can't see it, but let's go to Sky Live. Okay, so the sun right now is in Sagittarius, the moon is in Aquarius, and this is Sky Live. You guys can look that up, theskylive.com. Jupiter and Saturn are in conjunction, and we're going to take a look and see where they are right now, right? The sun is in Mercury, and then we have a comet out here, right? So let's take a look at where they are. Because the conjunction is tomorrow, let's take a look at where it is. All right, so here's Jupiter. Right now it's in Capricorn, and you can track it. You guys can track it. So it's in Capricorn. Mercury, Mars is in Pisces. Saturn right here, it's in Capricorn, right? And this looks like that's where the conjunction is going to take place tomorrow in Capricorn. So that's why I want to talk about Capricorn a little bit, right? So the solar eclipse was in Sagittarius, and now it looks like the conjunction will be in Capricorn. But I'm going to give you guys the Sky Live so you can also go on tomorrow and track it at that time and see exactly where it is, okay? So when we talk about Capricorn, let's take a look at that one. Capricornus, it's right here. Let's just type it in so you guys can see it better. All right. Let's take this off. So this is Capricornus right here, right? And when you look at it, it looks like a goat fish. See the tail? It's like a fish, and the top is like a goat, right? This is where the conjunction would take place. It's actually some comments out here also, a lot of comments. So let's talk about Capricorn. Capricorn is rulership. It's a goat slash fish. The Hebrew name for this Capricorn is Gedi, spelled Gedi. See how they play around with stuff, guys? See how they play around with it? Jedi. It just is in Hebrew it's spelled with a G, and when you look at the movies and stuff, it's spelled with a J. This is called the kid that's cut off. In Arabic, it's called El Jedi, meaning goat. And then, but the real name is Deneb El Jedi, the sacrifice that cometh, right? Okay, so let's take a look at it. That's it right here. Then, this is what I want to talk about, Aquila. This is an eagle. Now, they took the eagle, and when I showed you before, when I used a tool with the, when we did the, how the sun goes around in retrograde, and I show you like the 4 cherubims, and you had the eagle. Now, the eagle always represented power, strength, right? So you can understand why they would take it, but it's almost like the Most High knew they were going to do it. I'm not even going to say that. The Most High knew exactly what was going to happen. So he had a backup plan. Here's Aquila. This is the eagle. And if you notice, it's falling. It was hit. It's hit by this arrow, which is Sagitta. It's the arrow of God sent forth. And if you notice, you don't see a hand. It's invisible. And it had to, and this represents Yeshaya, the eagle. It had to be wounded. Capricorn deals with the crucifixion, right? So it's invisible arrow hitting the eagle. Then you see it falling, right? Then you have this little thing here, this fish. They call it Dolphinus, the dolphin, right? So before I even get into that, I want to say something because I know I have some very special people on the channel who will say, well, a dolphin is not a fish, but that's the name they put on it, but it's not actually a dolphin, right? It's not actually a dolphin. It always kills me how I will present so much information and so much facts, and people will just, zone in on one thing and miss everything else. So I'm going to clear it up right now. It is not a dolphin. It is Delphinus, right? And it's the dead one rising again. Now, remember I told you, Pisces, fishers of men. This is the dead one rising again. It's not no eagle coming from the ashes. They're not coming from no ashes anyway. They're going to the ashes. But it's almost like the Most High had to say, hey, I'll use something else to get my point across. Because like I tell you with prophecy, this does not just represent Yeshaya. It represents his people. And here you have the little, the Hebrew name for this is called Dalaf, pouring out water. Arabic, coming quickly. So they can't hide. You can't hide anymore. We are taking back what is ours. And that's been the whole agenda of us understanding the stars and the constellations. We're taking back everything that belongs to us. The Most High is giving it back to us. He's giving it back to us. And what we've been very consistent in saying is that every time you hear about the COVID numbers rising, there's something going on in the constellations, the Gamma, which is just another code name for Holy Spirit, Ruach, is coming in. And then look what I ran across here. This was December 14th, the day that the meteor shower was coming down. U.S. officials scrambled to deal with the suspected Russian hack of government agencies. And if you look this up, they call this the solar wind hack. The solar wind hack. You guys, I can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up. Not even if I wanted to. Look, what we know about the solar winds breach. So they're saying that they were hacked. You see what they're setting up for now? Comment down below. You know what, guys? You don't even have to comment down below. We know what they're about to, where they're going with this. They've been hacked. They got to cut the electricity. In 2000, there was a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. May 28th. Look it up. In 2001, you had 9/11. Remember, we talked about this, that they're going to do some more sacrificing. They're going to do some more sacrificing. Behind these solar eclipses, these conjunctions, they're behind the scenes doing a lot of rituals. This is why we fast. This is why we fast. Stay out of public buildings. Stay off of bridges, guys. That's free advice. So I saw this movie last night, The Songbird. And remember that one time I was telling you guys about someone who commented to me they're not going to have martial law. Yeah, they're going to have medical martial law. One thing they said here is the only way out is together. I wanted to show you guys this also before I leave. So have you guys seen this new Snoop Dogg commercial? What is he promoting? Then let me show you this. So hold on, that's the same one. Did y'all see this? What constellation does that look like? Sagittarius. And he's doing a water commercial. And then in the commercial, he's like, I'm going to save the planet. We don't even need the gematria calculator to see how they sending messages and codes. And they're using someone that looks like you. All these people sold out, y'all. They all sold out. I saw this the other day. I got this picture the other day, and I showed some people at work. And I just asked them, like, what does this look like to you? And they said, war. War. I want to show you something else. This is Orion. Right here is Orion. There's 3 stars. Look what's sitting right here. Nibiru. Location reported in New York Times in 1984 matched coordinates listed on YouTube image using Google Sky Earth. Just sitting right there in Orion. Now you know why they're all looking at Orion. They're all looking at Orion. You guys watch if you guys have cable, turn it on the NASA channel if you have it. And they have all these plans to go to Mars. And they have all their satellites turned to Orion. I was listening to it the other day and I said, oh my goodness. They have all these plans to go back on the moon. So they say. All this new technology they have coming out. They have one technology where they can become invisible. And you zoom in, and there it is. And then look at this. I'm going to leave this here for you. Sodom and Gomorrah was nuked. The Most High nuked Sodom and Gomorrah. In some of my other videos, we talked about the ancient civilizations and the things that they saw in the heavens prior to some type of destruction. They saw all kind of things, even the flood. They saw all types of, things in the heavens, and they were afraid. They were afraid. You guys, after this conjunction, we're going to start seeing more things in the heavens. We're going to see more things. And a lot of people are going to be afraid because they haven't been prepared for what they're about to see, good and bad. And so our journey is coming to an end, guys. It's coming to an end. And I love you guys, praying for you. And if we don't meet on this earth in this time, then we'll see each other when Yeshaya comes back at the welcome table. Anyway, guys, thank you all for stopping by the channel. Shalom.